Tired of winning the tailgate but losing the games? We can't help that. But we can tell you what the hell is up with each team and what's going on across sunny San Marcos. Texas State fans, get on your feet. You're listening to Squarin Around with Jacob Rodriguez and Andrew Zimmel.
Zimmel, people since the inception of the Squarin Around podcast have been like, when the hell are you going to get GJ Kinne on? And the whole time I was like, man, he's the head coach. He's not going anywhere, I hope.
We have Zimmel. What more do you want? Like,
what more do you want?
Come on.
Week to week. No, but I think it was important for us to establish our brand, establish a bunch of other things. We've had a lot of other guests on, including Don Coryell, Kelly Damphus, bunch of other people on this podcast. And so now we're talking to the head coach, GJ Kinne, on a semi-regular basis.
You know what? We need to bring him back on again. If he doesn't want to come on during the football season, I totally get it. But maybe before the bowl game, because that's kind of where this program is.
He's getting sized for a ring,
Oh, I know. God, I hope so. Look, if you're a Bobcat fan, you want to hear from your head coach. If you're an alum, you're going to be wet at the loins when this guy's talking because he is it's great. This is an insane interview. And I left it feeling, I didn't know I could feel better about the head coach than before, but I feel even better now talking to GJ. Like it's still firmly a 6-6 podcast, but maybe next year we're talking 10 wins. That's kind of how I feel right now.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Like baby steps, right? First, you got to get it's like making a cake. You can't just throw everything in and expect it to be good. You got to kind of measure things out and get the right kind of formula dialed in. And
you can't put on the frosting before you buy the eggs. And we bought the eggs with GJ.
We bought the eggs. And then, so we've had a few people on this podcast before, right? You got really hyped up when we talked to Coach Z the first time. Got super hyped up when we talked to Kelly. Now we've talked to GJ. How does that kind of ascend you on the tier list?
I'll say this.
What makes you go through a wall more?
Kelly for one. Kelly number one. GJ. Look, I'm really happy, and we're going to get to the interview here in a moment, guys. But I'm really happy with it. Talking to Coach Z and arguing about what's more important, conference championships or regular season championships, is forever going to be one of the top moments of this podcast. So that one, I'm not running through a wall for that, but I think it's 1A or 2A, 2B.
2A, 2B. Okay, that's fair. I liked it. Yeah. Now, so we talked about a lot of things, including Baylor, of course. But there's still obviously a lot unknown about this team, and they're waiting to find out too. That's when real evaluation happens, right? When they're going 100% against someone else. So this is a super special interview for both of us, only on the Republic of Football Podcast Network. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Square Talks. This is a show we like to do, talking to everybody at Texas State. If you're watching the video version of this podcast, you're like, Jacob, shut up already. Let Coach talk. This man needs no introduction. He's leading us all over the place. But first stop is Baylor, September 2nd. Head coach GJ Kinne. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, I guess how was camp? And you've been on a roller coaster since you've been hired here. Basically, you've been on a super tight time frame. It's kind of like the Bear. I don't know if you have time to watch TV, but they're on a timeline to open this restaurant, and that's kind of what you're up against right now.
What's the advice?
We're diving.
Yeah?
The food's going too slow.
Which tables?
All tables.
All tables.
I gotta talk to Marcus. Marcus, we're down 12 bread sets, all right? We need them now. They gotta fucking walk right now.
My wife actually brought up that show last night to me. I don't watch that, but I think it's in our future. I think it's been great though. Got great support, and it's been really fun. It's been everything that I thought it was going to be. People are really excited about what we got going on, and partly that's part of my job. The social media aspect of it, the recruiting aspect of it, getting exciting players in here. I mean, it's part of it. So I thought fall camp was really good. These guys came out and worked their butts off, and it was hot and long practices and physical, and we exchanged scouts this week and started really working on Baylor. I think Baylor is going to be a really good team. Very impressed, defensively with their front seven and their safeties and some of their secondary players. They got a really good team, very well coached. offensively, I think that quarterback is a stud. Up front they got some new pieces, but I think that O-line coach, Coach Mateos, does a really good job with them, and they'll be ready to go. And I think probably the biggest difference, I think, for them will probably be those receivers. They got the transfer from Arkansas, and then obviously the speed guy. They have a bunch of speed, so it's going to be a new Baylor team as well. So it'll be a big time challenge, and we're working hard every day to go out there and get a win.
So I want to talk about those three guys that you got, the three commits, because I want to talk Baylor, but I also want to talk about the fact that you've been taking over Texas, you've been on this deal, and it just doesn't stop. So what can you tell us about the three new guys that you're bringing in, the three commits?
Yeah, Obi and Langston were here most of the summer, working out with us and doing that whole deal. Where both those guys had to get some classwork stuff done before they joined us. Where Chance was a guy that was at UIW previously. I wasn't there with him, but a lot of our coaches that were there with him, Coach Youth and all those guys. And he transferred to Colorado before I got to UIW. He spent last year at Colorado when Coach Sanders came in. He entered the portal. And we actually brought him on a visit. I think Colorado came back in the picture, ended up going there. Didn't work out for him. He's a grad guy, so he went back in the portal, and we were able to get him. We had a scholarship open up actually, and that we weren't expecting, and we're able to land a big time defensive lineman this late in the process, which was awesome. So he's a great person, a really hard worker, and it's a big time pickup because the portal, you never know what you're really going to get. With him, we knew him a little bit.
Well, that goes right into Baylor, where you talk about they have pretty much a whole new team. You guys, first year at Tech State, it's essentially like a whole new team, and then you clearly know some of the UIW guys you brought with you, but how has that kind of changed the way the scouting goes as a head coach and just the scouting department, where you have film from a dude from Arkansas, but it's not going to be the same film that you might see for Baylor,
Yeah, it's different. I think especially week one, you don't really know what you're going to get. I should have mentioned all the great tight ends that they brought in and great tight ends they have on their roster. They're loaded at that position, maybe the strength of their whole team. So, they're going to be talented, and they have a bunch of new faces. We have a bunch of new faces. So, that week one, I think probably, Coach Aranda's, telling his staff and his players, hey, it's about us. It's about going out there and executing at a high level. And that's basically what we're telling our guys too. Obviously you have some looks that you're trying to coach off. They have a new DC. So, we're looking at different years, different games, that he was there previously before, then he left, he's came back. Obviously Aranda's a defensive guy. So we're trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together, but at week one, you just never know. And sometimes you can do too much and not execute very well. So we're really focusing on ourselves and getting the best players on the field and figuring out what they're good at and all that.
So first game of the season, but with a new program at Texas State, do you have a different feeling? What is the feeling? Because I know a lot of people, as school starts, they have those first day jitters. You're excited to go to class and stuff. Is it the same way of coaching?
I think so. I think for me, just from my playing days and then coaching, going to different spots, and I'm not very I get, up and then down. It's just not kind of who I am. So I don't really I'm not I'm just kind of another practice and another game and go out there and execute, and that's all you can do.
I would think I guess it would get a little easier towards the beginning of the season, or maybe even during the season, because it's just football, right? Last night you were at Palmer's, getting to know more people. We saw that crazy picture of you and all the freshmen on campus. You're doing a lot of things right now. You have to be you're quarterback basically of the athletics department.
For sure.
So I appreciate all that you're doing, but I just imagine the toll it's taking on you. I think you told Craven, you're going to the sushi bar so much you had to lay off a little bit.
Yeah,
just with all these visits.
Yeah, but I think that's part of it. That's probably been something that I haven't been used to. I didn't do this at UIW, going to all the events, and as a coordinator, you're not really doing all these events. So for me, that's probably been the not hardest part or most difficult. It's not really, just different as far as just kind of being away from the office and being away from the coaches and guys, kind of doing that So it's been good though. I got a great staff that can hold it down for me when I'm not there, but yeah, it's been fun really getting out in the community and meeting different people and meeting different business owners, and it's been fun, to be honest. And that's why you take a job like Texas State is because that's what makes this place special, is the people and the fans and the students, and trying to get involved and trying to get these these students and people in the community to the games. So hopefully it'll pay off, and we got a packed house that first home game.
I was going to say, it looks like you got a better night's sleep tonight than you did a couple nights ago, because that photo that you took with the 8,000 freshmen, you look tired, Coach. It looked like that was going to be a long day for you.
What, I look old, or I just look tired?
Just the bags underneath the eyes. It looked like this is a guy that has been like really studying the film, and now he's having to do a concert too. And today on the Zoom call, you look a lot like more energetic, a lot more awake for us.
I think it might have just been the lighting. I don't really.
Okay. That's true. Down lighting does affect it a lot.
Yeah. I'll get my wife to get me some more Rodin and Fields, stuff. Get the bags under my eyes going. I'm only 34, guys. I'm not. I don't get tired right now. I can stay up all night, get up early. I'm good.
Really? All right. Look, and you got 2 young kids too. So
oh, yeah.
Good for you, man. I know a lot of people are just like, they dog it at 35. So that's like 34.
No,
This is the last year you got.
No, yeah, I need to start working out again. I haven't worked out in a little bit just because of the grind of fall camp and all that, but I got to get back into it.
Well, we saw one highlight of you in the weight room with the other guys during, I guess that must have been like leading up to the spring game, or maybe right after. But you were in the gym doing pull-ups, Coach. So we've seen you work.
Yeah, I need to get back into that's when obviously you're at your best, but like you said, I'm doing a lot right now, so trying to manage my time and get it going and make sure I eat some food.
I'm sure you're just like everybody else, just waiting for kickoff. Like, it can't come soon enough. I guess.
Yeah. I think this fall camp went really fast, and I think for me, every practice now, it's like, man, we got to get better here, we got to get better there. So I think anytime you have this many new people, this many new coaches, it's our first time going out there and playing. There's going to be some learning curve there, just because we haven't done it before as a group. I think that's that's natural, and that's part of it. So hopefully we get that out of the way quick, and get out there and put on a good show.
Does it feel a little Groundhog Day-ish, like from when you made your FCS debut last year, UIW, and to now? Like, how do you compare the two, I guess?
Yeah, I think it was just so new for me last year being a head coach. My first year being a head coach, just worrying about all of this and worrying all that. Where now I've kind of done it before, so I kind of know the situations that really come up for us, and kind of where the problems are going to come from. So, and every year is different, but at the same time, I feel a lot more comfortable, a lot more confident in the role.
What's up, guys? We're taking an ad time break. If you're watching the video podcast, you might have noticed my jersey. I'm not telling you where I got this. Actually, I think I'm legally obligated not to, because Zimmel got it from an offshore place. Anyway, that's not the point. If you want something that's a fire fit, that'll get you all juiced up for Texas State this year, go to elitesports.com. There you can support actually athletes that come from Texas State with their own custom brands, their own version of what Texas State is, modeled after themselves. They got a bunch of custom looks for you. Head to elitesports.com, use code SQUARE at checkout. You help out the show. And teaser, we got a really special project with them coming out. Ooh, I don't want to say when, but I will tell you it'll be really awesome. So looking forward to that. EliteSports.com, use code SQUARE at checkout.
Well, let's get into the quarterback conversation, because I think that's what people are really like waiting for here. As a coach, and then as a former, Division I quarterback, what is the difference there when you have like 2 starting level quarterbacks in the room, and as a guy who's gone through that quarterback competition before?
Yeah, we're actually right now we're going through the process of getting me a 7th year waiver to see if I can come back and play. But no, that would be cool. I would definitely. I'd have to get in shape to do it, but I could do it. Yeah, I think we got a couple really good quarterbacks that coming out here and battling, and they've done a really good job. They got different skill sets. So, I think our offense will look a little different if this guy's a quarterback. It'll look a little different if this guy's a quarterback. So we're doing a good job right now of getting these guys the plays that they're comfortable with, and the plays that we feel like they can execute at a high level, and we'll see kind of what happens when we go out there versus Baylor, and probably won't name a starter, and go out there and play, and keep on evaluating.
That's what I was going to ask you. Are we any closer to a day one starter? Or are you just going to keep that till kickoff time?
Yeah, I'll probably just keep it till we can go out there and play, and I just don't see it. If I saw an advantage into it, I would name one, but I don't really see an advantage to it. I think our guys are working hard, and it's not distracting, and guys are getting the reps that they need, and so I feel really good about it.
Well, how's the running back room look? Because I know you got one guy who's already injured, but the rest of the team feels pretty healthy on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. I think Lincoln, obviously losing him was a big blow. He's just a great player, great person, great leader. But he's been phenomenal coaching those guys and helping them out and kind of taking that leadership role. Calvin Hill and Jeet and Denario and Ish and all those guys, Trent Lacey, all of them are had a real good fall camp, and same type deal. We'll get some good evaluation and get good film on those guys early, and kind of ride with the hot hand probably moving forward after that. But I think all those guys have proven they can go out there and carry the load, and they have their good plays and kind of their strengths and their weaknesses, and it's a very good group.
Was that you think that's the strongest skill position group?
Probably the most, I say that most experienced. It's one of the strongest for sure. We got some guys that have played some ball. Obviously, Calvin's been here for a little bit. Jeter's been here for a little bit. Ish played a lot of ball last year. Denario was a junior college player, but he's played some ball. Same with the O-line. We got some guys that have played a lot of snaps. We got some receivers that have played a lot of snaps. So we do have some experience, and even both the quarterbacks, they've started games before. So that's important. I think TJ's probably started the more games than the other guys, but Malik started a game and has, he went in there and had different roles and different packages previously. So he's been in big time games as well. And so I don't think, that part of it will be that new for those guys. They're used to playing the SEC and played in big time games before and all that. So I like where our guys are at. I like the depth at all the positions. I think another group that the tight ends, I like those guys a lot. Connor and Titus and Simon, all three of those guys are capable of playing and doing a good job. So I feel good with offenses at, it's one of those deals where the chemistry and you don't really know what you got, as a whole, this guy's good, but till you get out there and kind of see how it unfolds, you just don't really know till after the first couple of games. The same way at UIW last year. I remember going to that Southern Illinois game. They were top 10 in the country and had a lot of preseason accolades and really good. And we had a quarterback coming over that lost his job at Nicholls State and Lindsey Scott. And we had our two outside receivers, but both of our inside receivers were kind of unproven guys. And we had an O-line, a running back. We didn't know, he'd kind of been the backup before, Marcus Cooper, and ended up having 1,500 yards. So, but if you'd asked me if before the season, Marcus Cooper would have had 1,500 yards, I would have said, no way. I would have said, hey, it's a running back by committee, this guy. And then, things just happen. And if you had told me Lindsey Scott would have had 71 touchdowns, I thought he would have a good year, but I didn't know he was going to have 71 touchdowns. So you just don't really know until you get out there under the lights and guys perform and, kind of see who steps up.
It sounds like, from a fan perspective, you got me excited, man, because it sounds like you're more confident this year than you were last year about a team that really did well at UIW.
Yeah. I mean, I think we kind of knew more of the pieces last year at UIW. Like, we kind of knew who was going to start. We knew this, we knew that. We're here. There's still some battles going on, and you don't know until that first game really kind of what you got, or might be game two. I don't know. We kind of have to happen organically, but we got some good players. I think that helps. It gives you an opportunity. Now we got to put them in the right spot, and they got to go out there and execute and perform. But I feel good about those guys.
We talked a little bit about recruiting, Coach. San Marcos itself, I think, is just a strength in a program to have. You have so much things at your backyard, basically at your disposal to kind of, swag out and say, like, hey, not even like horses and Ferraris aside, right? Like just the river and stuff like that. I think you've posted about just being at like what is it, the Meadow Center or something, probably just watching tubers go down. What can you say just about the infrastructure itself to just continuously support this program?
Yeah, I think that was probably one of the main attractions for me was going somewhere that has 40,000 students. You have the river, the tailgate scene, like all that plays a huge part in recruiting. Like the Twitter, like when kids post offers and kids commit to us, and all the fans, hitting them up on Twitter and all that, like that matters. It really does. When we got recruits and they go to the tailgate and they see all these people and they, see them having a good time, like that matters. So I just thought like everything was really set up here at this place. Like the potential, obviously, you're not supposed to say potential here or whatever. Like the potential was there, the sleeping giant, whatever, like all that was there. You just have to have someone go out there and really get it done and get everyone involved and score some points and have some fun and give people something to cheer about. And I just it's just been always that job for me. And I'm, I'm not just saying that because I'm the head coach here now. Like it's been one of those jobs that, man, that Texas State job, like that's the one, it really is. I think there's just so much potential here and you can do a lot. You can really make this place whatever you want. I know I've said it before, but it kind of reminds me of UCF. I played against, when I was at Tulsa, we played UCF, and like you pull up to the stadium, like, man, there's 50,000 students. They have all this cool stuff. You're in Orlando, like you have a bunch of, and you kind of see what that program has gone to. Now they're in the Big 12, and I coached there in 2021, and kind of got to be there, and it's very similar. It really is. It's very similar. So I could see this, taking off just like that.
You're making alumni right now water at the mouth, coach, because I can tell you as a college football fan, you saying like dropping the word potential a couple times, we'll forgive you for that. But like just making it sound like what we as alumni believe that this program and this school is, man. Like I remember talking to people at UCF in 2017 and they told me like, hey, this wasn't like it in 2012. You know what I mean? Like
no
in 5 years, they were able to really shift everything around. And man, now you got me all excited, man. Like I'm thinking to myself, can we raise a national championship, right? Like maybe a real one now with the college football playoff expanding.
Yeah, I think getting everyone involved and getting the support, it all goes hand in hand too. And I think, we talk about NIL. I think that's going to be a huge part of it. Once you start winning and get some excitement around here, like we're going to have to retain some of these guys. We're going to have to recruit at a higher level than we ever have before. And really one person can really change the whole landscape of Texas State and how crazy. But in NIL world, you get $1 million donation, you get a $500,000 donation to NIL. You can go out there and beat anyone in the country. So, and that, that's what the, top programs are doing right now. So you heard Arizona State head coach Kenny Dillingham talking about it. They had a big, booster come to practice and he said he's the most important person at Arizona State right now. He basically bought the whole team. So in college football, you can change the trajectory of your program with donations and NIL and support. You can more than ever.
Talking to boosters and stuff like that, do you think that that's something that is available for Texas State?
Yeah, I think it's there. I think they want to see it on the field. I think they want to see what we're about, and but I think they're going to be very proud of what we put on the field. And so I think it's coming for sure. I think it's there. And like I said, the potential is there. We just got to go out there and do it.
Zimmel's from Bandera. I work in San Antonio at Ken's 5. You were in San Antonio, obviously, in like the, around UIW area. Is there a spot that you really miss from over there, like Mexican food? Or have you found a spot in San Marcos or in that area that kind of hits that same spot for you?
I was in Alamo Heights, and Sol Luna was a great spot that I went to quite a bit. Great food. The chispas are amazing. There's a couple of places here that I really like. We're still trying it out, figuring out our favorite spots. So, but yeah, Sol Luna was my spot in San Antonio just because it was so close to my house.
You got to try Herbert's, man. That's Jacob and I. That is where we would go every single Saturday before.
I still haven't. Everyone brings it up. I still haven't been able to go yet. I need to go. I haven't had a lot, to be honest with you. I haven't had a lot of time to really like go out and do that kind of stuff. Obviously, you talk about my family. So for us, when I have time, we're usually, ordering food and go picking it up and sitting there, because you got two kids sitting at a restaurant with a 4-year-old and 1-year-old. Not ideal.
Well,
That's
all
true.
I'm going to say is don't wait too long, because after you win a bowl game in San Marcos, you're going to get crowded at Herbert's. People are going to be wanting to jump all over you, dude. So
maybe it'll be good. I'll go in there and maybe I'll get to get some priority seating and get, maybe that'll be good.
Yeah. Well, you're doing the Herbert or the Chimmy's radio show. We'll do the Herbert's radio show, me and Zimmel. So
I like it.
I
do like Chimmy's. Chimmy's is a great spot.
Yeah.
Chimmy's is a great spot. Great spot.
Yeah. I just imagine it like Friday Night Lights, though, mostly because I'm reading the book right now.
Oh, there you
go.
Like
when you do good, right? Like people would bring you food or something, and then if you don't, then...
I live Friday Night Lights. That was my life. So yeah, I know all about it.
Well, let's talk about the Friday Night Light aspect. You've been super staunch about like college teams playing on Saturdays, staying away from Fridays. Obviously, the Texas High School Coaching Associations in San Marcos. What's it been like just reestablishing some of those connections for Texas State, and then interacting with the coaches, at the high school level?
Yeah, it's been awesome, and I know a lot of these coaches in the area, and obviously my dad being a former high school coach, and I played Texas high school football, so yeah, I think it's huge. Texas high school football's Friday nights, right? The town shuts down, everyone goes to the games. They don't need to be watching some team play on Friday night, college team. Play that on Saturdays, right? If you want to play maybe a Wednesday night or Thursday night, some MAC action or something, that's fine, whatever. But Friday nights, Texas high school football.
Nice.
Yeah. Could not agree more. I remember I think college kicked off a couple years ago on a Friday night, and I was very upset. I was very, very upset that I was missing like a TCU game, because I was at the Bandera High School game and got their asses kicked. But a
lot of these teams are going to figure out too, especially Texas. Like, good luck getting someone to the game, because they're going to go watch Gilmer Gladewater. They're not going to watch some of these other teams.
Timeout. We're taking an ad time break. If you've ever gone to a game, if you've ever gone to a sporting event, if you've ever seen football on TV in some capacity, you have seen the brand Home Field. It's the premier brand for college athletics. Every team's got one, not Texas State yet. But if you use code SQUARE at checkout, you get 15% off your order if you're a first-time orderer on Home Field. If you're a Home Fielder, you get 15% off your first order on Home Field, and then 10% off if you're a returning user. So if you're a Longhorn fan, you want to go support the Longhorns and also rep the podcast, use code SQUARE. Same thing for all you Aggies, Baylor Bears, whatever else you are out there. Soon, I'm casting a spell again. Texas State. Speak it into existence, right? That's what the future we want. Use code SQUARE at checkout too. That's homefield.com. Use code SQUARE.
What does the defense look like before we let you go here?
Yeah. Defense is looking great. I think Coach Packey, everyone talks about the offense and all that, but I think what really took us to the next level when I got to UIW was the defense. I thought we recruited at a very high level. I think the scheme fits, our offense. It kind of goes hand in hand. We're very aggressive on offense. We're aggressive on defense. So, Coach Packey and our defensive staff does a great job. We got some really talented players. I think early on, the defense really got after us in spring, and then the offense was able to catch up a little bit. Same thing in fall camp. Defense really got after us early, and then, we were able to catch up a little bit. But, they got good players and a good scheme. It's a tough scheme to prepare for just because they throw so much at you. So, but obviously Baylor is a very quality opponent. You're playing a Big 12 team with that is known for running the ball in the outside zone, and they're going to take deep play action shots, and they're going to have their tricks ready to go and all that. So we got to be disciplined and have great eye discipline. There are going to be a lot of shifts, a lot of motions and all that. So but our guys are getting prepared for it. We've been working on it during the summer, in our summer situations and most of fall camp. We've been stealing some reps here and there. So this week's been good. I feel like we're a little bit ahead of the curve as far as, getting prepared.
If I was you, right, your brother plays at Baylor. My brother played at Baylor and I was in your same position. I'd be like, hey, let me, let's see some film. I would love to critique you to get you on the right path.
Yeah. I I know better than that. I think there's a certain level of respect for the game that I got, and respect for him and respect for those coaches that they're at Baylor and he's at Baylor, and he's got a great thing going there, and I don't want to put him in a weird spot, so similar to what when I play Coach Traylor here in a couple of weeks at UTSA, or not, probably not going to be calling him up talking about this or talking about that. So I haven't talked to my brother and all that, so he I know they're getting prepared over there, and they'll be ready as well. They got a great coaching staff. But
I know you're a competitive guy, and I know that a win against Baylor would probably get a little bragging rights, huh?
Yeah, I think a win versus anybody. I like winning. Losing is way overrated.
Okay, Jacob. I don't know how much more you got going on here, but I got one thing I got to tell Coach.
All right.
I have been against UIW since they beat Texas State. I've been very, very, very anti UIW. To the point where I've got the voodoo doll out. But I rooted for you guys against NDSU because I'm in North Dakota now. And you got to tell me about that game, because that was the one game all season that was ride or die for UIW. And I got a lot of shit talked to me because of these Bison fans. So you got to break down the game, the last quarter for me.
Maybe that's why we lost. It was your fault. You started rooting for us.
There goes him.
Well, you better hope that that's not the case here, bud.
That's true. That is true.
Because otherwise, we're in fucking trouble.
That's true. No, I think they're a great team. It was going on the road. There was a dang blizzard going on. Fourth round of the playoffs. It was an awesome environment. Anytime you play someone like North Dakota State, especially at the FCS level, it's like they're the giant. So it was a really cool experience for our guys. I still think we had the better team, and we kind of let it slip through our fingers a little bit. We were up and they got the momentum, and we were able to come back, but there's a couple plays throughout that game that we wish we had back, but that's part of it. That's why you play the game, and you can't make that many mistakes in those critical moments against a team like that. So but I think it helped prepare us and the coaching staff and myself to prepare for those moments and talk about those situations. And I don't understand why it wasn't a fumble at the end of the game. It was a fumble, give us opportunity to go back out there and score. But guess what? They didn't call it a fumble, so it wasn't a fumble.
I said to everybody, I said, if that game gets played 10 times in a neutral site, UIW wins at least 9 of them. And
yeah, I agree. We were the better team, but they're well coached, and playing at home, it's kind of a weird deal. We went to Sac State, we're able to overcome it, and going to North Dakota State, it was just one of those deals that having that home field advantage is real.
What do you think of the Fargo Dome?
I thought it was a really good environment. It was a little bit smaller than I thought. You're kind of right on top of you, and they're not playing like little baby like I like in pregame. It's a little bit different. So you're kind of a weird feel to it. But it really was. It was cool. It was a great experience for those guys at UIW. They'll probably remember that game for the rest of their lives, just like our coaching staff will, because it was definitely one to remember.
Did you pick up the smell? Because that was the first thing I noticed about the Fargo. It's like this sweet smell. I don't know. It's like too much sugar in the air.
I didn't. I wasn't. I didn't get that. But I usually have a pretty good feel for that stuff, but I didn't get that. It's
this weird thing, man. I don't know. My thought on the Fargo Dome is that there's a lot of high school football stadiums in Texas that I think would give it a run for its money.
Yeah.
But that's just it.
I think just the inside, the dome part of it kind of is what kind of makes it, more than anything else.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to talk to you about that because I don't know the next time we're going to get to talk about UIW North Dakota State. But look, dude, I mean, Lindsey Scott was insane.
He was insane.
Heavy sigh.
Yeah, he went crazy last year. He had 71 touchdowns. That's all I always tell people. He had 71 touchdowns, guys. Do you want to come in here and throw, have 71 touchdowns? Do you want to throw for 60 touchdowns? Do you want to rush for 11? 71 touchdowns. That was one season. It wasn't 2. It wasn't a career. It wasn't 3 seasons. It was one season.
Just playing NCAA. Oh, my gosh. That's crazy.
Yeah. When are we getting that back? When are we getting into NCAA?
Man,
back?
They said it was going to happen this summer. I saved up $600 for a PS5. Now I'm probably going to have to save up for a PS6. I don't know. Whatever.
That's how much those cost?
Yeah, about $600 if you want a good card that could hold a few games, Red Dead and Call of Duties and stuff like that.
That's expensive.
Yeah. Well, these games are huge now. It's like, half a terabyte or stuff if you want to play like Skyrim or so.
Yeah, I like Madden. I haven't played in a while. I was a big Madden guy, big NCAA. That's pretty much all I play. I didn't really play anything else, but
Well, I meant to ask
But
you
I
at
can
media days because you got behind the sticks with Nash Jones. Did you,
yeah.
put some work in? What's up?
Yeah, we were just kind of messing around, but I think like at my prime, like I was really good Madden. I don't think anyone on the team could beat me. I was really good. What I would do, I would play online, right? This was 2015 when I was with the Giants. I'd play online and like whoop somebody, and in the fourth quarter, I'd put myself in the game. That's the ultimate flex, and just go in there and
Ooh.
like you're like a 60 overall, but you put in there and you go in there and beat them with your own self on there.
Were you ever upset that you were like rated what you were rated in Madden? Or do
They'd
you think
always
they
have
got it
like my
right?
speed high and like everything else, but like my throw power and throw accuracy was always terrible. My, just kind of like, come on, that's unrealistic. Like I'm an
Just
NFL
nerfing you.
quarterback. Yeah.
So I got your rookie card and I was reading the back of it. And one of the things was like great team leader, super accurate in the short game. So they really nerfed you there.
Yeah.
Because accurate in the short game is like that's your calling card.
Exactly right. I could pick people apart, like, especially on the game. That's what I did, but whatever.
Slants across the middle.
No
Like
doubt.
Micah Parsons tweeting at the Madden ratings adjuster now,
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
Well, and the thing
Get it
is,
right.
you talk about playing NCAA and like playing Madden, but you're living it now. So I mean, like that's got to be,
That's pretty sick.
be better.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah, but like one of my favorite things to do, like NCAA, was the recruiting aspect of it, like growing up, and Madden was like building a team and draft the fantasy drafts and all that I used to do, and getting great value late in the rounds, like we did with Chance Main, getting a great value late in the process, and building a team to win a championship and getting the right guys. Like I enjoy all that stuff, and probably a lot of that comes from playing those video games when you're little.
Well, thank God you're doing it now, like in real life, because I can tell you there's so many Bobcat fans that have bought like a PS2 and then got like the last NCAA 14 or whatever, and then taken Texas State all the way to the Natty just to prove a point. So
I like it.
Multiple times.
Yeah,
Multiple
I like
times.
it.
A couple of years ago, we lost to Troy by a ton of points, and I had to throw the game on and just really turn it on easy mode and beat them by 100 points just to get some of that frustration out.
I like it. I'd always like create a player, make all my linemen 7 foot tall and 400 pounds, and all my running backs would be like 5'5" and just running around like
ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
that's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Well, they asked you who your favorite musician was. You said Lil Baby. How long have you been listening to Lil Baby, or has rap always been like your thing?
Yeah, I'm like a country and rap. Like that's probably, I don't really listen to rock or anything like that. It's probably back and forth. Like I have 10, I have more than 10 songs on my Apple, whatever. But like it'd probably be 5 and 5. I enjoyed different music and all that. So yeah. Like Lil Baby,
what's on the playlist right now?
Big Drake guy. I really enjoy Drake. Lil Baby's more like I said that like it's like a football feel, like if you're out there on the field, that's what you're like. Sometimes Drake, like you might not want to listen to Drake when you're on a football field, I like country as well.
Talk about country music a lot all the time. I'm waiting for Turnpike's record to come out on Friday. So
there you go.
It's a big day for me.
Yeah, I was obviously being a Texas guy, Josh Abbott, me and him were pretty close. He actually came and played in Tulsa when I was in college, and I was able to meet him, and we still have a relationship to this day. Anytime, I try to, go see him when he's in town, and he lives in Austin, but trying to go see his shows. I haven't been one in a couple of years, but I like the Texas country, Morgan Wallen, he's got a bunch of really good songs out right now. And then a lot of the 90s country and obviously George Strait and Alan Jackson, all that, big fan. So, I definitely got good variety and it's I love listening to music on coming into work and going home, turn on the music, and here we go.
You get to talk to Randy Rogers? Question mark?
Yeah, like Randy Rogers band a lot.
But have you talked to him? Since he's a
no, I haven't. I saw it. I haven't. I need to make that connection for sure.
I'll tell you, if you win a bowl game at Texas State and find a way to get George Strait and Bobcat gear, they might build you a statue. Like
I know, I'm trying. I got a signed ball and a pick, but we're working on it.
Okay, there you go.
That's honestly my white whale for any interview, just to be in the same room. Not even with anything recording, honestly. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, no doubt.
I asked this group, I told Jacob the story before, but I asked this group one time if we could get him on a podcast, and they said he doesn't do podcasts. I was like,
yeah,
very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I would imagine that'd be pretty difficult.
Yeah. Like, how did I interview Common before?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Good.
Common experience.
Yeah, that was cool.
Cool. Well, Coach, those are all the questions we had for you.
Awesome.
Thanks for doing this again. Appreciate it. Good luck. September 2nd against Baylor. Of course, always beat UTSA.
Yes.
There you go. They're week 2, though.
They're week 2. So focus.
All right. Appreciate it.
Coach.
I'm not sure like how much insight into like their strategy for Baylor is, but I know like they know their opponent, and that's like what Sun Tzu says, right? Know your opponent better than you know yourself.
What a take that is. I mean,
know, look at that.
Throwing a little art of war into the pod. Look, I knew that we weren't going to get X's and O's, and I knew that we weren't probably going to get a starting quarterback out of this pod. And I know a lot of fans are probably squeezing and screaming, hey, give us a quarterback. I will say, if you're paying attention to who we talked about more, TJ Finley did get more mentions on the pod than Hornsby. Just, I don't know what that means anything, but that's
you had your little clicker going.
I did have the little clicker going. I was like, TJ Finley got one more mention than Hornsby did, and he did not mention either quarterback by name. Another thing to kind of keep in mind there. I think coming into Baylor, the conversation is, do we have everybody in the right position? Because look, and I didn't want to say this to GJ, but I'll tell you, Jacob, and I'll tell the fans here. I don't really care about the Baylor game. Like, do I want us to win? Hell yeah, I want us to win. Do I care if we lose? Not really, because I'm looking at UTSA in week 2. And I know a lot of fans have that game circled, and I'm looking at UTSA, I'm looking at Nevada. Those are the 2 games, and Jackson State. I'm looking at those 3 games really as games that are like more important than the Baylor game. If we compete in Waco, that's great. If we win in Waco, hell, throw a fucking parade. But the goal right now, I think, for GJ is making sure everybody stays healthy and that the game plan is set up for us to have a shot to win. Like, I'm not all that concerned about Baylor in week 1. I'm more concerned about UTSA in week 2. So just get the guys on the field, have a game plan, and I trust that he has that.
I think, yeah, you're right. I mean, I got on this podcast last week, and I was like, if Texas State wins the first 4 games, wow. That's such a dumb take. But in reality, it's pretty much what you just said without all the science behind it.
I mean, look, like, Baylor, I think right now sits as a 3-touchdown favorite against us. I think they're 21.5.
Yeah.
And Texas State covers that. That's a big deal. Going to Waco, having a game plan, having a competitive game, all those are good check marks for UTSA, because I want to make Jeff Traylor go home and question about where he goes after UTSA. I don't want another Texas State loss to the Roadrunners and everybody's, oh my God, we're 0-2. I want to have a real conversation after week 2 where we're 1-1. What do we need to do against Nevada, a team that won 2 games last year? How do we beat Jackson State, a team that doesn't have Dion and doesn't have most of the talent they had a year prior? That is the conversation we need to be having. Beating Baylor is important. Playing against Baylor, everybody's really excited for week 1. Winning in Baylor is not, to me, the end of the world. Having a good game plan and having the guys in position, that is what matters most to me.
Yeah. And that Nevada game, by the way, last year literally made me cancel my ESPN Plus account. I was so devastated. I saw the hype videos. I tweeted about it. We talked to freaking Alex on this podcast about that same tweet.
Oh, no, it's like, I remember I'd go to all the Bison game and I'd call you after the Texas State game got done. I'd call you and I'd call our friend Kate Connors and be like, what the hell are we doing? What is going on?
It's gone downhill since we left.
Oh, I know. But I feel like a lot of alums were having those conversations. And after hearing GJ talk, I don't think we're going to have those conversations anymore. I really don't. I feel really good.
Yeah, the only difference between you and me and other alums is that we just started recording all of our conversations and then inviting the coaches to talk about it too. So,
yeah. I'll be curious. The real question here is, I'm curious what happens if the wings fall off the plane, if GJ comes on and talks to us, because I really do. Those are interesting conversations. Now, God forbid that happens, but I'm curious to see what those conversations look like.
Well, you tested the Sorcerer's Stone last time, right? It was like the Jacob curse. We talked to Chase before. I talked to Coach Johnson, but Coach Johnson, that was fine, right? That team wasn't even supposed to get as far as they did in the tournament. Chase Mora had a great freshman year, still lost aside, swept by Raging Cajuns, whatever.
Proudy.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about this. Chris Preddy. Chris Preddy.
Calendar. Yeah, new calendar year. Restart it. Why? Yeah. We washed the jerseys. We're good to go this time.
When's the fiscal year start? That's when we start keeping track of all that stuff.
Oh, beginning of fall camp. That is the beginning of the sports calendar. I don't care about January 1st. The beginning of football camp in the fall, that is the sports calendar beginning. So we are very much into the new 2023-24 sports calendar for Texas State.
And a deep tease for next week, we're getting on the mics with our boys, the only people from Waco we tolerate, the Between Two Bears podcast, Matt is Bear and Evan Herbert. So we're looking forward to our insane preview that we're going to do with them. It's mostly just talking shit. So keep that in mind.
100%.
But we got you in the mentions. We're going to bat for this team. Our careers are on the line in these conversations. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah. We ain't got no badges. We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
Better not come any closer.
Thanks for listening. New episodes out every Thursday. Follow the boys on Twitter. Eat 'em up. Eat 'em up.